It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Bralyon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey. Welcome in on a beautiful Monday. Ermanni, and that was Maz. Ryan Ermanni won't be with us, but my main man, Anson Wells, is in here. And before we get started with the show, somebody had a birthday this past Friday. Thought we forgot. We did not. Ricky, throw up the back wall.
Hey.
Happy belated birthday to my man, Anson Wells. Anson, here you go, brother.
Wow.
Happy birthday. That's
Look
a
at
curse
this
for
guy.
me. Did not come empty-handed.
I appreciate you.
I will tell you like this. You do not meet many people like Anson. He is a great human being. He is a friend. Once he brings you into the circle, he's going to be there for you. And I can tell you stories upon stories. The one with Britt's mom, I'll never, ever forget that. I'll never forget that. So you deserve that. So happy belated birthday. How was your birthday weekend?
It was long.
Okay.
Spent Thursday night on 8 Mile. Won't
Shout
say
out
much
to 8
more than
Mile.
that. And then finished the early morning hours somewhere in the city. You know, we do after hours here. Did not make it downtown on Friday, sadly.
Oh, what?
Well, I got home at 8 a.m., Bray.
Hey, I'm not mad.
Game
I'm
one,
not
take
mad.
one.
You deserve to, birthday boy.
I'm still looking a little peaked, but you
You
know,
are
I'm
pale.
a year younger. I love the Benjamin Button lifestyle, and I appreciate this, man. I think I only got one card from my mom, so I appreciate that very, very much, my
And
man.
I didn't come empty-handed. You're welcome, by the way. Tom Masway, you look like you seem like you've been just sad or down a little bit lately. The energy necessary hasn't been the best. So I got a little something for you two.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
Oh,
I love this.
oh, come on, man.
Is that your favorite guy?
Come on.
Let's see it.
Favorite guy?
Turn it around, big guy.
Isn't that your favorite guy?
Wow, look at
Derek
that.
Jeter.
That's fantastic.
Thanks, Right?
Autograph,
Turn it around
ladies
again,
and
Tommy.
gentlemen.
So, you know,
Fabulous.
And that wasn't given to me, by the way. That was something I wouldn't. I had to make that happen, man.
you know,
Thanks, bud.
my fantasy baseball partner
Thanks,
and I,
brother.
That's what's
we've
up.
been talking. There's so many good shortstops in MLB right now.
Yeah, Jeets.
And it's all because of that guy, right?
Yeah.
Is that why there's so many shortstops? There's no third baseman in the league right now. They're all playing short, and it's because of Derek Jeter, right?
Shout out to
He's up
Captain.
there. Him and A-Rod and Nomar Garciaparra back in the day.
Nomar.
They kicked it off again. They kicked off the era of the shortstop. And
Nomar.
this is my guy. My dog's named after him. Jeter.
Enjoy that.
Thanks,
man.
Bray.
You named your dog Derek?
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. I
Jeez,
said
baby.
Jeter.
Jeez.
I said Jeter.
Braylon bringing the love to
Hey, man,
start the
I
week.
love it,
I
bro.
love
That's
it,
a good
man.
way
This is
to
how
the
we
week,
doing,
bro.
man. Church, another beautiful message, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning
Thanks,
in.
Bray.
A lot happened. You're welcome, man. There's a lot happened in the world of sports this weekend. Geno wins 12. The Red Wings go 2-0. Even the Detroit Tigers are now above 500, and that's where we
How
will
about
start. Last night, walk off for your boy
what a
Spencer
game.
Torkelson. Who said this guy wasn't going to make the
Tork.
team?
Man,
Who said Spencer
He
Torkelson
was
wasn't going to be the
0 for 4.
answer?
He was 0
Everybody
for 4
did, and
before
that's the good thing about this story. Maz, 0 for 4, Spencer Torkelson seems like he's a little bit different this year, playing with a lot
Heck
more
yeah.
confidence early in the season.
Yeah, man, it's great to see. I mean, it's really great for the Tigers that this guy put the work in, obviously. He said he wasn't going to change much. He said, no, I'm old school. I'm going to do it my way. Hey, whatever way he worked, it works. You could see that, obviously, when he's at the bat. He's not straight up anymore. He's bending down. His knees are bent. He's bent at the waist a little bit. Whatever he's doing is working so far. And he walked it off yesterday. 2-run double in the ninth. They were down. They beat the White Sox. They sweep them just the way you have to. You got to sweep bad teams, and they did that. And they are above 500. I'm looking for great things from this team. Continue on, play good baseball, and get a real, true blue bat to add to that lineup by the All-Star break.
Yeah, before we get to the All-Star break, man, let's stick with what they're doing now. I couldn't agree more. It goes throughout the 4 sports. Like, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Lloyd Carr used to always tell me, you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Anson, I come to you. They beat the Chicago White Sox. They get above 500. Talk about somebody playing a little bit better. Javi Baez yesterday, 3 hits. You know, the joke is Javi Baez. It's been Javi Baez. It's not becoming a joke anymore. It seems like he's figuring out 3 hits for Javi as he's having a much better start to the season than all of last year.
Third base Javi, man. How about that?
Third base.
He played a lot of positions.
He played 3 positions
Yeah.
yesterday, by the way.
really?
I forgot to say that. Shout out. 3 positions he played yesterday as well. getting it done.
This is the case of a team picking up a player. When he came here, he was asked to kind of be a savior of a team that was void of any real playmakers. The team struggled, and he struggled, and then they kind of went down together. Listen, he's got a lot of pride. This is a guy that's been a very good player in this league for many years in the past. And when you watch a Tigers team make the run that they made last year and be no part of it, it's got to affect you in the offseason. It's got to affect your pride. It's got to force you to get back into the lab and figure out a way to make an impact on this team. Because we talked about it all summer, and I know a lot of people here thought they were going to buy him out. Nothing in Chris Ilitch's past would suggest that was going to happen. So you bring a guy back that's just this lightning rod, a polarizing figure that the majority of Detroit has moved on from, has disregarded, and mentally thrown away. He had not given into that. And he spent this offseason getting right. And hats off to Hinch and the Tigers for giving this kid another chance.
Yeah, 100%. I think because of the Detroit Lions, you see what the method is in Detroit now. The front office guys, look, we're going to pay our own. We'll draft, go through the draft, and we'll take our time. Look, you can't tell us anything. And that's what Sky Harris and Chris Ilitch have done. Man, speaking of a player now, a lot of hope, a lot of promise for this guy. It's a pitcher. Jackson Jobe, he started off on the mound yesterday in the first round. First inning, didn't necessarily go the best. What are your thoughts on watching Jackson Jobe yesterday? Because everybody's excited because he shows you those flashes. Then he also shows you flashes of other things.
Hey, he's a kid.
He is.
And they're handling him with kick gloves. They are taking it easy on him. You're not going to see him go past 4 innings many times. Look what they did with Casey Mize back in the day. And then Casey obviously had the injuries. He gets to go today against the Yankees. So you're seeing a lot more out of these Tiger pitchers. They have patience with these guys. Look, you had your closer from last year. He's down in the minors, Jason Foley. So you know they have a lot of pitching up here. They're going to make a deal, guys. They might make a couple of deals by the time this thing rolls around at the All-Star break. Kevin McGonkle, a guy that Lynn Henning has told us about, a guy that Dan Dickerson has told us about. He actually hurt his ankle over the weekend in Double-A. We expect him to be up here by the All-Star break to fill a spot. That's like trading for a player. It's one of your own guys, one of the best hitters in the game, top 10 on the farm. Tigers, top 3, or are they number 1 still with their farm? But yesterday with Torkelson, the way he came back from his rookie year, 30-plus home runs. Last year, obviously, a disappointment. But yesterday, he walked it off, and he got to hang out with Danielle LaBruce after the game. Check it out.
Torque, first question. Your teammates were all covered in whatever that was out there. You look like you made it out okay.
I made it out clean. That's a good sign.
Okay, this team has really shown this city how gritty they can be starting back last year. Always a chance to come back. What was the atmosphere like in the dugout during those late innings?
We feel like we're never out of it.
All right, well, now you're covered.
Yeah, I wore it. It feels so good. But, we feel like we're always in the game no matter what the score is. And as long as we put together good at-bats, keep the line moving, we think we got a chance. So, love this team.
All right, walk us through that final at-bat that gave the team the win.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's all on him. He had to make good pitches. Andy had an unbelievable at-bat. The 4 guys in front of him had unbelievable at-bats. So, it was just get a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it.
What are you thinking there? You're watching your teammates go up and absolutely grind out at-bats, draw walks. What are you thinking in that moment?
Oh, you just want to get up to the plate as fast as possible. They're dialed in. You want to win this game for the team.
Awesome. Thanks, Torque. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's awesome to see, from Spencer Torkelson. It shows a lot of times just got to be patient. I know patience isn't something that we want to practice, especially as a fan base. Definitely as fanatics, you don't want to practice patience. But he was drafted number 1 overall for a reason. They saw something in him. We saw that same thing when he had those 30 home runs, and it was so easy to forget that last year. So good for him to be able to get back. But they're going to play the Yankees. The Yankees are up next, man. They're moving the games back. You were talking about that a little bit, Tom, or Maz, I say. They're playing the Yankees. Talk about this, and then we'll get to the Yankees.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's face it. The weather's not really cooperating this week.
Nah, it's not.
It's April. You know what April brings? It brings showers, and it brings cold here in Detroit.
It brings inconsistency.
I mean, last Thursday we were at 60 degrees. Friday we were at 50 degrees. Today, 40 degrees. The rest of the week, 30 degrees and rain. So they moved the games from the night, and they're all day games. Today, 3 o'clock game, Casey Mize gets the ball for the Tigers. The next 2 games will be 1:15 games. So all 3 games against the Yankees. Tigers are going to lose money on these because when the Yankees are in town,
right,
they sell the place out.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the place ain't going to be crowded during these 3 games. And it sucks. I wish they would have saved the Yanks for a little bit later in the season. This would have been a good time to play the Royals or something. But 3 games against the Yankees, try to beat them 2 games. Try to win 2 out of 3. I like Casey Mize today.
It definitely sucks that the weather's bad, and I feel like they play the Yankees early in the year every year.
Yeah, well, last year was July.
Okay,
Right.
But you're right. Early,
right,
the Yankees
early
do
in the
come
year.
early.
Right.
Yeah, no, the weather sucks, but Maz, these Yankees, talking about them
Yeah.
before the season, you're the one that said, don't worry, my Yankees will be fine. They won't beat the Dodgers, but they'll be fine. I said, we'll figure it out. Well, they're 6-3, and they have 3 of the top 10 home run hitters.
Yep.
Talk about your Yankees. Aaron Judge leading the way yet again. I mean, he seems like a better version of himself when he hit 62.
He's doing great. Hey, you thought they would lose a step without Juan Soto.
Volpe!
Juan Soto's a great hitter. $750 million. What they did is they added depth to the team. They added pitching. They added Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger back in the lineup yesterday. He'll be back on today. Aaron Judge hasn't missed a beat. Jazz Chisholm is playing terrific baseball. Yeah. They are going to be fine. The New York Yankees will be. They're going to win the AL East. I know the Red Sox are playing good right now. They got guys hitting over their heads. I think they'll come down a little bit.
You haven't even mentioned Ben Rice, baby.
Yeah, Ben Rice.
That
from,
kid.
from Dartmouth.
Man.
Yes.
Big Ben Rice.
Ivy League.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. They got guys that they're plugging in. Who's that outfielder? I'm trying to think of him. He's hitting 400. It'll come to me. Anyway, this should be a good series.
Grisham.
Trent Grisham.
Yep.
Playing over his head right now, but he's starting in the outfield. Yankees are going to be fine. I wish they gave a little of those players to the Tigers, but you know what? We'll get there eventually.
What would it do for you I'm so excited thinking about the Pistons. Parents went to the game this past Saturday in which they lost, but what would it do if the Tigers take 2 of 3?
Oh my God! First of all, you're staying over 500, you're playing good baseball, and to beat the good teams is great. Hey, you beat the White Sox. You got to beat the White Sox. This is a different team. This is a AL champion from last year. And they represented themselves pretty well in the World Series. Got down, shouldn't have lost game 1. Yada, yada, yada. Here they are. Beat the Yankees 2 out of 3. If you lose 2 out of 3, it's nothing to hang your head down from either.
Let's get you in on the conversation, Ricky, man. What are your thoughts on these Tigers, man?
It's just having a good time, man. Watching that game was so fun. I felt like how Maz was talking about the Pistons a couple months ago before we all kind of keyed in, where it was just like, yo, they're just out there. Everyone's just making
gets the
plays.
credit for that, man. I was the first one talking about Pitt, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not worried about the credit, man. Deny thyself is what my pastor told me.
My bad. But like Bralyon was saying a couple months ago about the Pistons, it's the same for the Tigers right now, man. Every single game I watched over this weekend, they were just having a good time. Everybody was doing what they needed to do, man. It just feels so good to be playing, because I was nervous when Maz was talking about it was the worst infield he ever saw, but I don't see it. I'm having a great time.
For me, we looked at this division last year,
White Sox now.
and everyone was playing above their heads.
That's true.
I mean, the Guardians just had one of the most unstoppable offenses in baseball. Obviously Minnesota hit a wall towards the end, but they were a great team. Kansas City as well, and then we can forget about the White Sox. The Twins aren't that good. Kansas City's not that good, and Cleveland is starting this season off as the team we thought they were last year. What I'm looking at right now is a team in the Tigers that went to L.A. and put up a fight each game. Now, I know they went 0-3.
Should have won 2 of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And this is against a team whose payroll is like 3 times the size of ours. It's fresh off of a World Series, and they're playing at home. So seeing them fight and then come back and win 2 straight series, going 5 out of 6, I'll tell you what. This is a team that has notoriously had a chance, but started off April and May so slow that they were out of it. And even late runs put them kind of on the map. And then obviously last year, the statistical anomaly to be able to make it into the playoffs. The way this division looks to me right now, and
Which the Tigers are in first place, by the way.
Absolutely. They sure are the only team above
We own the
500
Central.
in the division right now. I don't think we're going to see 3 teams playing playoff baseball in this division. I think that this is truly the Tigers' division to walk away with. And the Guardians are going to be the only team that I think that we need to worry about. You get a post-type sleeper like Torkelson finally bringing the power. He's got a 1,000-plus OPS. I mean, the guy has shortened his K-walk ratio, which is something that's always been a problem. If he can continue on this pace, they found that power bat that they lacked last year. We don't even need the guy that didn't want to come here at third base.
Yeah, two things about Torque, man. Thing one, like,
Had a hell of a day yesterday.
Yeah,
though.
we do.
we
I'm
did.
talking about Bregman. He had a hell of a day
He
yesterday.
did. He definitely did. Two things about Torque. Thing one, for all the people out there, they're like, and you gave up on him, man. You gave up. I've been hearing a lot of people around here like you. Everybody did.
Everybody.
So don't
right.
make it seem like all of a sudden people were talking good things about Torque. Where were you? Same place you were. Same place you were. We all were in the same place as it related to Torkelson. We didn't think that he would be able to recap what he did 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. So everybody was in that same space. The other thing, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's early. We'll see what happens later in the year. Why are we worried about later in the year?
Right.
Do you know how hard it is for a batter that does not have it anymore, whose confidence has been fractured, to somehow find it at the beginning of the year when all the eyes are directly on them? All the eyes were on Spencer Torkelson. He wasn't supposed to make the team. Due to injury, he made the team. All the eyes are on him. He was just out there because of, in spite of. He's figured it out. So it's very tough for an individual to figure it out when all the chips and all the eyes are on you and down. So shout out to Spencer Torkelson. To figure it out early in the year, it says a lot about who he is mentally. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, just ask Javi. I don't think anybody thought that guy was going to come back.
He was my hip.
We knew we had a good team, but we also knew that we had a couple guys that if they could play to their potential, we can lock this division up. End of July, August, am I crazy? I really think that this team is that much better than the rest of the Central Division.
Speaking of hitters, Maz, one of the big hitters that you were hoping found his way to Detroit.
That would have been nice.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signs the deal with the Toronto Blue Jays for $500 million.
14 years.
14 years. They spread it out a
14
little
years.
bit. Third highest paid man in baseball. Third highest contract
Ever.
out there. Congrats to Vladdy. He hung in there. You play in Toronto. You play basically in when no one's really watching you in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. This ain't the 90s with Joe Carter, but it is what it is. And he deserved his money. If Soto got $750, this kid is a young man just like him. He got $500. That's a bargain, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely a bargain. That's $750 is wild.
It's amazing.
And you see all the Yankees fans, they're so excited that he's not necessarily playing up to par right now for $750. What comes
They're
with
packing.
$750?
They're packing the stadium though.
He's a big time ball
Yeah,
player.
they're packing the stadium.
Speaking of packing the stadiums, last night they packed the stadium for a great one. Well, I should say the great 8.
Yep.
Alexander Ovechkin passes the great Wayne Gretzky.
Took him a while, but he did
all-time
it.
goal scorer. It took him one extra day.
I know.
At one extra game. And technically,
That's
Maz,
funny.
I found this out. He could have broken it on Saturday night, but it was an empty net.
He didn't want to go in.
He refused to go.
He refused. He told Gretzky, Can we appreciate the greatness in that moment?
Yeah.
I feel like basketball has ruined football too, because Tom Brady and Peyton were fake friends for a very long time. Football's gotten a little better, but in basketball, it's just such like Michael, LeBron, then Kareem and Michael, Kareem and LeBron. Wayne has been nothing but class. Wayne's been nothing but class, and Alexander has nothing but a mentee / class. So it was fun to just see. Like, hey, man, good job. Shout out. I've been chasing you this whole time, wanting you to see a break. It was good to see that moment. I feel like basketball is just always like, is it him or him? Or I don't want to come if he's going to do it. It's stupid.
And for all the little brothers at home, Alex Ovechkin is the youngest sibling. Little brother.
This is true. Alexander Ovechkin, he did it. Man, let's talk about the greatest. That is Alexander Ovechkin, an individual that will not only score on you, he will beat you up as well.
Ricky liked that one.
He doesn't back down, man. He'll beat you. But I don't understand how these hockey teams have let him just park himself to the side of the net. He's scored out of 895 goals. He's probably scored 800 of them from that parking spot. I don't understand.
25%.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
I don't,
what they said.
That's really?
25%. You
Really?
talking about the spot on the left right
Yeah.
there? 25%.
Yeah,
Go.
I would think it was more than that. Maybe whatever. But here it is last night. Check it out. You can see it from his point of view. This is Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals, and then we'll hear from him right after this.
stress enough how incredible you are, how good you've been for the city of Washington, for the National Hockey League, for your country, Russia. It's truly amazing. I felt like I scored the goal, honestly, when you scored that. I was so happy for you. And, you know, I'm wearing this pin number 9 for Gordie Howe because, to me, he was my idol. And he was, to me, the greatest player ever lived. But you surpassed him tonight, and good for you. Congratulations to the whole organization. I told Mr. Leonis when I broke the record, they bought me a Rolls Royce, so I hope they get I don't want to.
We'll talk.
I don't want to circumvent the cap.
Like, Maz, even in that sense, Wayne Gretzky was setting Ovi up for more success. He was setting him up for free rolls. That's just class personified, and it was great to see because we know who the greatest hockey player of all time, but his record for most goals ever got passed last night, and it was nothing but love.
It was awesome, man. Same amount of games, too. The
That was
exact
cool.
same amount of games.
That's crazy.
And Ovi passes him by 1 goal, which is amazing. We all know Wayne's assists. He still is the man. He's the great one for a reason. It's fantastic. You know what? Ovi did it with one team.
20 years with one
Yes,
team.
One team.
That's crazy.
Take your hat off to the guy. Great hockey player. It's a great story. Washington is playing good. They've already won a Stanley Cup for them. They might win another one this year. It would be apropos if they skate the cup this year with them.
Hey, I mean, honestly, being with one team for 20 years and actually getting on the field, on the court, on the ice still, where they still want you in this day and age, is almost just as legendary as what he did statistically.
100%. Hey, look, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll get back. We did get some video footage in from a line that everybody's excited about talking about Aiden Hutchinson, man. But right, we'll take a quick commercial break.
Listen, we're talking about legends today. Let's continue talking about the legendary Buddy's Pizza that's been serving up their original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. And that original location at 6 Mile and Connet is still there, along with 21 more locations throughout Metro Detroit. You can sign up for the Buddy's Rewards, and that'll earn you points on every purchase. You can receive all kinds of exclusive promotions, discounts, all that good stuff. Download it today, and you start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal and get 10% off your entire order if you use that promo code you see right above my head, 10MEAL. That's the # 10MEAL. Get up to buddies.com and get yourself some of that legendary deep dish.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
On Fight.
Boys are back in town.
Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
We are the #1 sports digital media platform in all of Michigan, all the entire country, and all the entire world. 6 options for you to choose from to catch our material that we got here, all of our shows, and also we got weekend programming coming up here as well. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have X, we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. Come like, share, subscribe, join. Come be a part of our family because we want you to be a part of our family as well. Woodward Sports, baby.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. Not a lot of Lions topics and things to talk about right now. We're still about a week and a half, 2 weeks outside from the draft, so nothing to talk about. But there was a video that came out right before the weekend drop. They got a lot of people going in Detroit. It was Aiden Hutchinson running a little bit down in Ford Field. You can run it back again. Yeah, run that again. Let's see Big Aiden, Big 97. That's just a good sight to see.
Yeah, he moving.
That's a good sight to see. We down, Rick? We up? Yeah, good. It's a good sight to see, man. You want to see this, this injury happen early October. I want to say this injury happened, and now here he is in April running, weaving. Weaving is the next step. First thing is vertical, straight ahead, straight back. You don't want to go anything lateral. Then it's the weaving. And once you get the weaving, then you can start putting your foot in the ground and going. So what does this do for you, seeing 97? Because the defensive line, and what's 97 going to be? What does that look like? Is he going to be back? And how does it make you feel seeing Big Aiden out there?
Well, he has to be the anchor of that line. He has to be the motor that drives that entire offense.
Amen.
What I saw from the video before that, it looked like Captain Ahab trying to run. I got to say, it's a huge improvement. The last one was a little scary, not going to lie, Hutch. But
which one was that?
It looked like he was running with just a straight plane.
The first one.
Captain Ahab. But so the difference from that last one to this one is massive. And it's got to make you feel great. Again, this isn't an ACL. This isn't an Achilles. But it is a major catastrophic injury. And again, this is the motor that we need to have back. This is the guy that allowed them to not trade for Myles Garrett. It allowed them to not make the massive splash in free agency to go after a double-digit $1 million contract guy. So they've got faith in him, and he has to come back to do it. But he also is a guy that has experienced 2 major lower leg injuries in the last few years. So I think, as much as
does that bother you? I'm gonna get you in on this too, Matt. But does that bother you moving forward? Because you're right. He had that at the University of Michigan. The year he had was really the only year that he had. Does that bother you? A young guy, but 2 major injuries within the span of 3-4 years.
Well, I would say that it would bother me if they had done what everybody here in Detroit wanted to do, which was give him an extension.
Yeah.
And I pray to the Lord that this young man will stay healthy all season and continue to be that motor for many years going down the road. But if the unforeseen happens yet again, this is a guy that you probably have to trade in his final year, that you probably have to move away from and not give the $25-30+ million that it's going to take. But this is a child of Michigan, a son of Detroit. He's massively embraced here, and we know there's nobody in the league that's going to outwork this guy to come back from a major injury. So what we're seeing, the progression of his health, I think it's right on course for what we need to see from him to be that motor of the Detroit Lions this season.
Yeah, you better watch out trying to trade Aiden, man. The pride of Michigan. They'll jump after you in the chat. Man. But Aiden Hutchinson, look, you heard Doc talk about it pretty much for about the last month or so. He's sitting that chair on Thursdays and Fridays, and he said he likes the progress. He's actually ahead of where he's supposed to be. Yeah. And I got to think, based on the doctors, based on them not making moves in that, I think they trust where the pace is at for Aiden, and they trust where he's going to be coming in the next season as well.
It scares the daylights out of me.
And it should. Man. But
if I just put myself in his body, and it's my leg, and he's looking good here, but how many guys are going to go and chop him? How many guys are going to go after that leg? And I don't know Bones.
Right.
is the bone stronger now with the rod in it and all of that kind of jazz, or is it a chance for it to break again?
There's probably always a chance. I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on that. But it'll be a stronger bone. He's young. He's still 24.
I
so
hope.
It
gives me the willies just thinking about with that break. Because remember his leg? It looked like a rag doll.
It did.
It looked like a rag doll.
It did. It was nasty.
Some Joe Theismann type stuff.
Yeah.
It was nasty. But the good thing is it's April. You're talking about a season that is September. So you still have, even now, you still have a long time to take your time with the injury. See what the body looks like. See what the swelling looks like. Because the best thing that doctors do or trainers, they're going to tell you trust the body. When the body swells up, when the body's not right, you shut it down. There's still a lot of time from April to September to get Big 97 ready on that left side. So
he does have time. Time's on his side, no doubt about it.
Now you tore your ACL, correct?
I tore my ACL and then I tore my meniscus.
So specifically with the ACL injury, when you felt really healthy, how much longer did your brain trust that? How much longer did it take?
That's funny because I tore let's just say when I had surgery in January 2006. I was playing basketball and dunking in like end of May. Like my trainers were pissed when they found out. But yeah, like you're young. My knee feels good. I jumped. It works. So I went and dunked. But football is different. Like I didn't trust it being on. Maybe because that's where it happened. But planning is different in football. Like so the knee didn't work. It took me, till September to be good. So that's 9 months. But then the mental side of things wasn't probably till the season was over with. It really probably wasn't until the off season going into that following season that my mind trusted my body, and I was like, okay. 2006, I came back and it was an okay season after the ACL. 2007 is where I made the Pro Bowl. Like it was a different mindset. So, but that's ACL. That's an anterior cruciate ligament versus the bone. Look at that. I still know how to say that word.
Hey. But that whole season of 2006 after you had come back,
a lot of thinking.
It was in the back of your head.
Yeah,
it wasn't
the whole
all
time.
year. Took a whole full year being healthy, huh?
I'm a high point receiver. So like the term you mossed him at the high point. That's me. It took me a while to be able to trust myself to go all the way back up.
I hated that high point when it was in Ann Arbor. Damn, I hated that high point.
That's easy. Throw the rock, man. You know what time it is.
Best player out of Ann Arbor in the last 25 years.
Most
Remember that.
impactful.
You know what time it is. So if you're a jersey collector, especially for the Detroit Lions, you might be a little bit upset. It seems like the Detroit Lions are playing a little bit of jersey.
These guys.
They got a lot of swaps to make.
Maz, I'll let you take it away from here.
14 jerseys. Team USA over there on the
left? It's like a high school varsity
That's
team.
disrespectful.
That's pretty much right.
Like
Unbelievable.
Between the front office and the tickets and then the players and the jerseys.
You're not kidding, man.
Fans, you're getting the raw deal right now.
They ain't making any friends. And you knew it. You knew J-Mo eventually was going to one.
We talked about that when he got drafted, man. You, me, and Ryan said he's going to get one. He didn't. Here we are.
Here he is. And then 0 for Jahmyr Gibbs is the one I don't get.
So crazy.
First of all, it's 0. I think it's a terrible number, especially for a running back.
Or for a football player.
I mean, 26, he hated. I didn't know it. He put it out on Instagram. I always hated 26.
It's a bad number.
I always you think 26 was bad?
For a running back, it's not bad for a
him
DB.
to be as good as he is and the type of back he is.
26.
If he was Saquon Barkley, 26 wouldn't be bad because Saquon's a different type of running back. Like Jahmyr gives individual number. Like he's that type of run. That's what it looks like to me. 26 just feels weird.
Now, see, to me, I'm not.
0 feels worse.
I didn't say 0 was the one, but 26.
I never bought jerseys or really collected them or even really wore them. But I kind of love the old school number where he doesn't wear it anymore. Like for you,
like
is
a
it
running
8
back
or
wearing 20?
You get one gold jersey. Is it 8 or 24?
Oh, you talking about 24?
24.
Yeah.
Okay. See, to me, I'd rather wear 8. I'd rather have the 8. What about LeBron?
Kobe,
6 or 23?
23.
See, I'd rather have the 6 because he should never wear 23.
Okay, but for me, Kobe became Kobe when he wore 24.
Yeah.
Like 8 was a bunch of other stuff. It was, is it Shaq? Is it Kobe? Is it Phil?
Rocky Mountain Kobe.
He don't want to be on 24. Kobe was about business.
Rick like that one, huh?
It took me a
Rocky
second.
Mountain Kobe. Let's go.
But I got
8 miles up.
Anson, you are on the board with that one, my friend. That was good. Very rarely am I delayed on the joke. That was.
No,
I should have thrown a pause in there, huh?
that one.
Oh, you on fire today?
Okay, back to the numbers for here a second, guys.
Yeah, fire. Go ahead, man.
0, Jahmyr Gibbs. 1, Jamison Williams. 4,
I like
DJ Reed. Terry and Arnold took number 6. I don't mind that. They took what did he have, 0? He was 8-0, right? They knew wherever 0 was, they were throwing a flag. That's the only problem. So he's number 6 now.
What it sounds like is all the Alabama cats got together and was like, look, let's switch this stuff up. And DJ Reed happened to come at the right time because he's like, well, if y'all moving, I'm about to get 4. Let's see what's up. I guarantee all the Alabama cats playing the game, gaming. Man, I need 0. I want my 1 back. So shoot, what's up? Let's switch. Let's do it.
Enos Rakestraw took number 9, so he takes Matthew Stafford and then J-Mo's number. So Rakestraw gets 9. We've never seen him on the field yet.
Is that former
anyway.
Wolverine you're about to read right now?
Yeah, Ronnie Bell.
When did we get him?
I don't even remember that we even had Ronnie Bell.
Right?
He gets number 10.
He got moved up in the
Ronnie
practice.
Bell.
For some reason.
That's a solid potential pickup.
Tim
I
Patrick.
think so.
St. Patrick is
He's
12.
been sleeping down in he was with San Francisco, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Pittsburgh and San Fran.
Yeah, and,
I hope
and
you're
buried
right.
behind some nice receivers.
I hope you're right. Tim
Oh
Patrick
no, he
went
was
from
in San Fran. I'm tripping. Yeah, he called. Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm looking at that board and I see all those numbers on the left there, and it
Hang on.
reminds me of 6th grade basketball team
Can't-
where we only had jerseys that went 1 through 15.
Yeah, right. And went by size.
Yeah, right? Yeah, 15 is a large.
Yeah, right. That was
You know, I was taking that extra small number 4.
Pause on that. Can I make a comment though?
What's up?
Yeah, why did Tim Patrick go from 17 to 12? What's 12? Why is
Probably
12 better than
It was
17?
probably high
Because
school
maybe
number or
his
something.
number from somewhere.
was
his number. It's probably
His
high
high
school
school
number.
His college number. Man, that rain is that even rain?
Yeah, it's wind and rain.
Why did Broderick
word?
Martin change his number?
I don't know.
Why did Broderick Martin change his
wanted
number?
to be
He took my guys to
To
Darius
change
Smith's
his
number.
mojo, man, so
Why?
he can get on the field somehow.
You need to get on that field and worry about changing the number later.
Well, if they look at him and they think it's somebody else because it was
Yeah,
their old
Zadarius,
number,
get
they're
in
like,
there.
get in there, number 14 or whatever his number is. He gets some play time.
If I'm not playing up to my potential so far in my league, I'm not worried about no number.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
not worried
think it's
about
his
number.
3rd number.
Yeah.
Broderick Martin
How many
has
times
3
you-
numbers.
So I mean,
That's
I
crazy.
understand. I guess maybe
3rd time's a
somebody
charm?
took his number and look, man.
3rd time's a charm, maybe.
You need to
But
worry
here's
about
what I
getting
want to
on the
do.
field.
If I just bought, and I did, I bought my kids a Jahmyr Gibbs jersey. They love
so
Jahmyr
for you.
Gibbs. So I bought my youngest a jersey just when the season was almost over. During the playoffs, I bought her a jersey.
Ooh.
What the hell, man?
Do they swap
Now
it out?
she's wearing Maurice Norris's number. Maurice Norris's number.
Do they
I
swap it
want
out?
my money back.
Morris
I do.
Norris.
I want my money back.
But some franchises,
They swap
when they do
them
the
out,
switch,
yeah.
they
Trade
allow
it in?
you to bring it back to the
Ooh,
stadium.
Yeah.
they
That'd
should
be-
do that.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't heard it, have you?
No, I
You
have
think
not
this
heard
team
it.
is giving money back?
Yeah, the
I
Forwards
feel
ain't
like-
doing that.
No,
You know
but
they
I
got
feel like this is a good opportunity. This is a good time to make something happen, Pete, because with the ticket stuff that everybody's still pissed about, Pete, bring in on this one, with the ticket stuff, this will be an easy win for the Detroit Lions and the Ford family.
Well, if they want to do the fans right, absolutely, man. I mean, come on, dude. You got $80 parking around the stadium. You got,
$80.
you know, the concessions prices are through the roof. It's like, do your fans a solid, for heaven's sakes. And I don't know if you guys saw, and I don't mean to mince anything. If you don't, can I kind of go back in future, if you don't mind, because
All right.
to
Come on,
stay
Marty
the,
McFly.
to stay on the Lions things, going back to Maz's point on the Tigers, the bottom paragraph there of the Tigers thing, the fans who purchase tickets through an authorized secondary market vendor are so I'm just saying, like,
SeatGeek stuff.
like it seems like these teams are trying to tell you how and where and when you can, like, you know, spend your tickets, and now it's like, I don't like all this control over the tickets that I purchase, and Maz has made that point in the past. Don't you agree? I mean, if they're your tickets,
it does seem like they keep switching it up and giving you something to change.
Yeah.
Now you got to find, you know, like the structure.
Right.
Like if I want to do this, how do I not get screwed?
Yeah.
They make it so hard for you.
Same
you
for the
still
uniforms.
Still end up getting
and
screwed.
same for the uniforms.
Is it snowing?
It's
now?
snowing.
It's
snowing.
It was a rainstorm.
mix.
We
and
are-
now it's snowing.
I hate it here.
We're like 20 minutes away from first pitch at Comerica Park.
snowing.
What for? This is how it looked when Mickey hit the home run.
Yeah.
Snowing.
Was that 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
20 minutes away from opening pitch if you're watching live.
I tell you
Yeah.
what, it is an ugly day.
Are you trying to say they're not going to play?
I don't know. I guess they'll get it in
Snow
eventually.
out?
They'll get it in eventually. I wish they
Pause.
would just cancel the whole 3 games
Snow
and
out?
let them come back another time, but that ain't going to happen.
Do you want to play the Pacers or the Knicks?
You know my point.
I love that question.
You know my point.
The Pacers?
No, I want the
or
Knicks.
the Knicks?
I want the Knicks.
Tom has a way.
Yeah.
Tell me why you want to play the New York Knicks, and Anson, I'll get to why you want to play the Pacers.
Because he was born there, Bray.
No.
He's in Jersey.
Listen to me.
I don't think so.
Listen to me.
All right, here we go.
I'm rooting for the Pistons. Look.
Pistons clinched the
Yes,
fifth
sir.
seed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm rooting for the Pistons. I know I've been a Knicks fan and I complain. They're not going to win a championship. I was 11 years old
They
the last
clinched
time
the
they
fifth
won.
seed, though.
11. I'm 63 now. Forget that.
Boy.
The Knicks don't beat anybody. They don't beat anybody good. And we're good. We're not fodder. We're not cannon fodder. We're not going out 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first round. They're going to win at least a couple of games and make the Knicks try to beat them. I'd rather not play the Pacers yet. First of all, I would love to play the Knicks because you'll be the lead on SportsCenter. Not that I watch SportsCenter anymore, but I do want the nation to recognize, and they are starting to recognize.
Pete, do me a favor.
that
Throw that
Detroit
in the
Pistons.
chat. Ask the chat who would they rather play.
Yeah.
You got
They
me.
play the Knicks or Pacers.
If you're playing the Knicks,
You got me.
you're getting the first game, right? You're getting the 8 o'clock game.
Yeah.
You're getting the ESPN
You're
or
getting prime
TNT
time.
8 o'clock game. You're not getting pushed to 6:30 or whatever wherever that first playoff game goes. I don't want to play Indiana. Played Indiana enough. We do have a history with them, but I'd rather play the Knicks. I just love to see Cade Cunningham play at Madison Square Garden and show what he's got. And I know, Bray, you might differ your opinion. I think they could beat the Knicks in a series.
Anson, I come to you. A lot of people don't want them to play the Pacers. Why do you?
Well, I want to watch that series. It's going to be a physical series. It's going to be an emotional series. And if we didn't already somewhat reignite the rivalry with the Pacers during the regular season
It's
matchups,
ignited.
that will absolutely reignite this rivalry. But to Maz's point, I don't think we're quite ready for them yet. This is a topic that I'm going to save for about 3 weeks from now. But Miles Turner needs to be the number one free agent target for these Detroit Pistons. And I'll tell you what, I'd love to play the Pacers with him wearing red, white, and blue than blue and yellow. That being said, the matchup with the Knicks, and I was here January 1st. I told you this team would win 44 games. We would be a 6 seed, and we would play the Knicks in the 3. It's looking like that's going to happen. We've got 4 games left. 3 of them are at home, which is a blessing. But 44, 45 wins is really most likely just going to put us in a situation where we play the Knicks. And as I mentioned to you, I love that. First and foremost, you've got Jalen Brunson, a small guard that is one of the best shooters and playmakers in the league, who's going to be D'd up by either Cade Cunningham or one of the best perimeter defenders in Asar Thompson. Now, their number 2 rebounder on the Knicks is Josh Hart. He's 6'4". If you put Cade Cunningham on him, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's not going to be averaging 9.4 rebounds a game. Now, the big X factor is the new guy at MSG, and that is Karl Anthony Towns, a guy that is a master during the regular season and a choke artist in the playoffs. This guy is going to be a matchup nightmare for the Pistons. However, you get to throw a 21-year-old Jalen Duren, a madman in beef stew, and even a little bit of Paul Reed. And over a 7-game series, which is what I think it will take for either team to win this series, those 3 guys are going to wear Cat down. This team is deep. The Knicks are not. They have one of the best 5-man starting lineups in the NBA. But Cade loves MSG. I want the Pistons with a first-round upset, and as much drama that I would love to watch would take place in that Pacers series. I called it January 1st. I'm stamping it because it's happening. Pistons are playing the Knicks, and they're upsetting them. Sleep on it.
This is where I'm at with it. If you play the Pacers, I don't think the Pistons have shown me that they're mentally strong enough
100
to go through a series of that, because they're going to get chippy, but the Pacers have the experience. They're going to draw the fouls. Beef Stew is fouling out. Ryan Hollins is gone, etc. And now you're undermanned, shorthanded for games 3 or 4 through. So that bothers me. On the side with the Knicks, we know who the NBA wants to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. we know they want the resurgence, the return of the Kings. So now you go to Madison Square Garden and you got to deal with the refs. And you got to deal with that moment. So for me, you're going to have to deal with the refs either way. Give me the Knicks. With all that being said, you're going to have to deal with the refs and the physicality and the lack of experience with the Pacers. I'll take the Knicks. I know what I said about the Knicks. I know what I said about Cat, and he's trying to prove it. And Jalen Brunson is trustworthy, and they're a deeper team than OG Anunoby. But at some point, you got to make a decision, and my decision is the Pistons and the Knicks.
Knicks will be here Thursday, by the way.
Yeah,
That's how
they'll get a playoff preview.
Kings tonight, Knicks, and then Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that take. The Pacers.
Knicks aren't physical, and that plays
That's
to the
the big
Pistons.
thing. And the Pacers, I believe, would be able to, through physicality, be able to ignite the Pistons' emotions just one night. Might be Game 5 right here in Detroit, which costs the Pistons a win. And that's a series, both of those teams. Either series, you cannot lose a game because you're too young to keep your emotions out of it. And I think the Pacers understand how to elicit that emotion out of the Pistons. And I just don't think experience-wise they're quite there to deal with that. So to your point, I believe that the Pacers will be able to steal a game. But I also think you have a great point in the fact that the Zebras could steal a game for the Knicks. Yeah. I just think that the Pistons have a better chance of getting into the Knicks' head through physicality, which is their calling card,
100%.
than they do in getting in the Pacers' head by playing physical with them.
All right, Ricky, 4 games left for the Detroit Pistons. All home games. The Kings tonight.
Okay.
You got
Last
the Knicks,
one's at Bucks.
You got the Knicks third. 4
it's home and
games.
home.
Last one's at the Bucks. Home and home. Bucks. Pistons will go blank. Last 4 games.
Pistons will go 3-1.
Ooh,
3-1.
faith.
Yeah.
So you got them finishing 46 and 36.
Yeah.
There you go. Time
I'm
out.
with
What are you? 3-1 for you too.
Yep.
3-1.
I got them beating the Kings. I got them beating the Knicks on
Check.
Thursday.
Check.
I got them beating the Bucks at home,
Damn.
and then they'll throw one on the road.
Okay. Pete, 5 there.
Yeesh.
Be the one.
2-2. Sorry,
I
man.
want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, dude. I'm just.
I like it though.
I'm just trying to be realistic and not trying to I'm all in on the Pistons, but realistically, I think 2-2 coming up next 4.
That's very fair. I mean, the Kings are playing well.
Yes.
That's
the
okay.
thing.
I like that.
That's all.
Anson.
2-2, I hope. Sacramento is in the midst of a brawl to stay in the playoff game. If they win, they will clinch. That is a really underrated team. Domantas Sabonis, son of.
But they're
one
not
of the
home.
People forget Zach LaVine is also there.
No, and that team is really desperate right now. What I saw 2 nights ago out of Cade Cunningham was rust.
Yeah.
He missed shots that he wouldn't miss. That game could have been won. I don't know if he's shaken that rust off yet. I'm worried about the Sacramento game. I think we split with Milwaukee. If they win 3 games, they have to beat the Knicks. But I said at the beginning of February, I kind of relented off my 44. I said it's a 44 or 45 win team. I don't think that they go over 45 wins. I would love to see them split these 2. But I think the most important thing that you're going to see JB coach towards is health at this point. We're pretty
They're favored
locked
by
into our
6.5 tonight. By
Yeah,
the way.
give me 4-0. Everybody wants to run from it. Everybody wants to hope it. I'm going for the 4-0. I like my Detroit Pistons. My parents had a chance to go to the game this past Saturday. I think they're hungry. I think they're excited. Sacramento, look at what the weather looks like. They're on the road. They're in Detroit. They're ways away from home. They're off their rhythm. Give me Detroit tonight off a loss. And then the Knicks, they want to make a statement. This is the team they want. They want to make the statement that we ain't ducking no smoke. So I think they beat the Knicks on principle. I don't think the Bucks have anything less except Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And the Kings played last night too.
Right.
They're on a back-to-back that definitely helps the Pistons a little bit tonight.
Wings 2-0, trying to make it close down the stretch, man. So where was this? Like, where is this at? And then it sucks because the teams that they're right there with, guess what? They go 2-0 on the weekend as well. But the Wings did win against the Florida Panthers. Shout out to the Wings, Tom Mazawet.
I know, but they fell 6 points back.
Yep.
And Montreal is the team they got to catch. Guess who comes here tomorrow? The Montreal Canadiens. That's a must-win, obviously, in regulation. Got to get 2 points from them. And then, you know what? It's hope and pray time, I guess, because they're running out of time. What do we got? 6 games remaining? What did I write down here? Yep, 6 games to go. 6 games, 6 points down. It's yeoman's work. They got to go undefeated and then get a break.
I was listening to Neil earlier. Shout out to Neil Rue, Big D Energy, and Sean Beligian. They were on there. They do a hell of a job, 11-1 daily. And he was talking about he's not mad. He said, I'm not mad at the players. I'm happy that the players are finishing strong. I don't want to misquote him, but he's happy that they're still fighting. He's happy that the players haven't tucked it in, knowing that it's pretty much almost foregone that they're out of it. They're still fighting. He said he's just mad at the management that they're in this situation. And I tend to agree with him 100%. The players still fighting. I've played on some bad teams playing for the Cleveland Browns, and this is not a bad situation, but I'm saying I know what it means to compete to the very end. So the fact that they're competing like this, I love it. But management in that front office, it's going to be a long off season.
It feels like deja vu.
Yeah.
I think we've gone through this the last 2 seasons with the Red Wings, but it's very reminiscent of what we had gone through with the last 3 years with the Tigers. And the fact that the Tigers were able to cap that run off with actually getting into the playoffs and then winning a series, I think that's why they're 5-4 right now. I think that, beyond personnel, of course, but I think that's why they're starting this season off. Listen, they don't go to the Dodgers. This team's probably 7-2 right now. So you look at what that momentum and confidence did for the Tigers coming in this season. That's the tonic that ails this Red Wing team. If for some reason they could capitalize on that crazy statistical anomaly and slide in, I think it'll do wonders for them to start off next season. The most likely scenario is that we're going to have to hear a whole lot more people debate the Yzer plan and whether they want to jump off board or stay on. I think this team looks a lot like the Tigers do right now. They've got a great young minors system. They've got players in place. They've got the coach that seems to be able to finally pull out of this team what we need to see in order to get to that next level. So even if they do miss it just this much, I hope guys aren't calling for Yzerman's head.
So, Maz, let me say, are you to the point where you giving Coach McClellan half a season next year to see if you're in or not? Are you going to give him a full season?
No, I think he's our guy.
Okay.
I think he's our guy going forward. Listen, I think from what I understand, Yzerman tried to get a couple of players here from last year and this year and came up short. I know he wanted his guy from Tampa Bay to come here, and his name is big goal scorer from Tampa Bay that went elsewhere in the free agency. The Chattel checked me on this one. His name is out of my head. I know he wanted him. They didn't come up with the money, so he went elsewhere. They're missing a couple guys, especially on defense. And then when you lose guys to injuries on top of all of that, it just didn't bode well. Goaltending was up and down this year. So it looks like 6 games to go, 6 points back. The odds are against them. They probably have a 5% chance of making the playoffs. But you start tomorrow. If you keep it alive, if you beat Montreal, you keep us going. If you lose to Montreal, it's done. Season's over. He'll be 8 back, and it's Katie bar the door after that. Yzerman's not going to get fired, so I don't think we even have to go and ask about that. He's your guy, and let's just hope all these guys that he drafted are going to come true and come up here and make this team better, because free agency's failed them.
This is true. Like, at the end of the day, look, you have to have patience. That we hear. It sucks to hear. Sometimes it works off. Sometimes it pays off.
Steve Stamkos, thank you, guys. IT Hips, thank you.
I just looked it up for you, too. I was like, 16 years he played with the Lightning, 100%.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. There's enough in place in terms of the structure, I feel, that next year could be the year. Like, I was waiting for that coach situation.
It's 8 years now, 8 and counting.
Is it 8 or is it 7?
I think it's 8.
I thought it was. Oh, it'll be 8.
Yeah,
all 4 Detroit teams will be in the playoffs next year. Sleep on that.
You know what? And that's a great sounding off board. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll see you in the second half of the show.
Here's Dr. Pierce, guys. You know it. It's our guy. Attention, sports fans. Do not miss our Sports Injury Insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday. He joins us on Thursdays. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. We all trust him. Dr. Jeff Pierce here, keeping you in the game, performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. The phone number, 248-426-9944. I'm heading over there this week. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday. Got to get that special sauce in the elbow. Elbow's not working. Dr. Pierce says he can take care of it. I trust him. So should you.
Tigers of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight.
This ball is gone. Boys are back in town.
Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Time to get in shape because your fitness is essential, and that's what they understand at Planet Fitness. Went this morning, check 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, so it was a gym right by my house. Just like I know that there's a gym by you. Judgment-free zone. Come in and do your own thing. Nobody's bothered. Nobody's bothering you. Nobody's judging you. They're letting you operate at your own pace. Gyms are clean, and you get a membership, and you get trainers with that membership. Any membership that you get, no extra charge. So look, Planet Fitness is the place for you because your fitness is essential.
Taking the chore out of getting your hair cut since 2004. That is Lady Jane's. You can walk in anytime and let their talented hairstylist deliver that industry-leading haircut you're looking for. Relax with the scalp massage, the hot leather neck shave, and lay back for that hot towel treatment. Of course, they're open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime, no reservation required, because it's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, and it's wicked awesome.
Definitely is wicked awesome. Time Maz away.
Yes, sir. I got some super chats to read. We don't want to forget about our good friend Jared Sayers. Thank you. The Tigers finally have some organizational depth. Agreed. It will be interesting to see the roster moves once Glaber, Vierling, Parker, and Wenzel are all healthy and on the field. And our friend Byrne, he's like, I wanted to redo Ryan's question from last week. Here it is. Would you rather guarantee one Super Bowl for the Lions and then suck for decades, or be good for 10 to 15 years with upside of the 90s Wings or downside of the 2010 Tigers? That's what he put. So guarantee Super Bowl. I'll ask you first, Anson. You got a guaranteed Super Bowl here for the Lions, then you're going to suck? Or do you want to be relevant like the Red Wings were back in the day?
And we're guaranteed we don't win it? Are we the
No, you're not guaranteed. You're in it.
The 21st century Steelers? I'll be the Steelers, bro. I'll be the Steelers.
So you want to just make the playoffs?
If you give me 15 shots, they're going to win one. But obscurity hurts. And we've dealt with that the majority of our lives. We love our Lions right now. We've had so much fun for the last 2-3 seasons. And what do we have to show for it? Yeah. No Super Bowl. But we're loving it. We're out in the streets. We're setting draft records. I know everybody wants that Super Bowl, and I want it. But to me, I think that my desires align with ownership, and that is let's be great. Let's be a 10-win team for every season for the next 15 years.
So basically, would you rather be the Eagles of the 90s and mid 2000s? Because that's what the Eagles did. The Eagles went to the playoffs every year. They went to NFC Championship 5 times when Donovan McNabb was there, and they couldn't win. So it was a lot of fun. It was but they didn't win. Is the question?
Or you got a Super Bowl.
Just give me the Super Bowl. How long can LA celebrate their Super Bowl? How long can the Rams celebrate their Super Bowl? Like, they just won. Like, how long can they celebrate that? 14 years? Well, 12 more?
I don't care. They won.
I mean, he's still celebrating Namath.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
That was back in the AFL days.
You're still
They
celebrating.
weren't even an NFL team yet. Hey, guys, in my hot hand here,
Wow.
we just got a package.
Look at that.
We just got a package.
Detroit.
Look at this, guys.
Is that Detroit Kool-Aid
it's
Blue?
Are you going to rock out?
Look at this.
Play something, man.
This is from our good friend Phil on the chat. He designed
Come see that.
this guitar. Look at the back, guys.
Ooh.
It's a Woodward
it was
Sport.
that
Did he
one,
burn that
got
in?
you.
He took care of it. I don't know what the hell, how he did it. Phil could tell us. Look at that, Bray. Take it up there and start
Don't tell
jamming.
me you know how to play.
So, Phil, thank you, my friend. This is going to be in the
Don't tell
studio.
me what to
He
play.
looks pretty natural with that thing. I'm
Yeah,
not
right.
going to lie. Bray looking pretty natural.
Play Wonderwall.
I was like, man, what's he got for us?
I thought he was going to do
Boy,
it.
I did
I
too.
wouldn't have been shocked.
Now
Give
playing
it to
Bralyon
Anson.
Edwards on guitar.
That's
Look at
my
that.
brother.
You got to show that off, man. Thank you to Phil,
like-
guys.
it's like
And this is an
holographic.
official Kool-Aid Blue right here.
Phil,
Love
we
that.
definitely do appreciate. Speaking of blue, you know what? That's a great transition. Yesterday, Final Four has gone to the final 2 teams. We now know who will be playing in the championship game.
Give that to me, Anson.
It will be the Houston Cougars led by Kelvin Sampson and Florida Gators. Before we get there, let's talk about the games that got us to this point. Auburn loses to Florida in a comeback. Both games comeback, by the way. Duke, epic collapse.
Wow.
94%
Yeah, that was crazy.
chance of winning.
With like a minute left.
56 seconds, they were up 9, and it just didn't
They
look
just
bad. They
fell
lose
apart.
to, excuse me, they lose to Houston, who played tremendous
What a comeback.
defense.
What a
It was a great
comeback.
match. It was great to watch. I picked Houston to win it all, so I'm excited.
Good
Let's
for you.
start with Duke. A lot of people saying that Cooper Flagg, the probably consensus #1 pick, choked. Don't see it that way at all. I think his team let him down.
The shot was
Yeah.
short, but you know,
His shot was short.
yeah.
you
One-
can't hit them all.
that's also what happens when all the pressure. He's the greatest Duke player ever. He's better than Christian Leitner.
Yeah.
He's a
Whoops.
kid. He's a
Right.
kid. Let
He's
him
a kid.
figure it out.
Yeah, right.
You said he was better. Leitner hit the best shot I've ever seen in my life in college basketball.
Yeah.
Leitner's the best Duke player ever.
Yeah.
Put all that pressure on him, make sure on that shot. But he played magnificent, nothing to hang his hat on. Team let him down in Houston. They came back.
It was awesome. Saturday's games they lived up to the Final Four.
Saturday.
Yeah.
4 number ones played, and it looked like 4 number ones played. That first game, Florida game, was phenomenal against Auburn. I like that Auburn team. I'm sorry that they came up short, but the second game was the game everyone was waiting on. They thought Duke would run them out of the gym, and they basically led the entire game. Houston comes back. Kelvin Sampson calls those timeouts. They steal the ball 2 different times out of the inbounds pass. That's unbelievable coaching. Kelvin Sampson gets his team to the Final Four like a champion, and I would not count that team out tonight. They play Florida. Florida's a very good team. They were one of the favorites coming in. A lot of guys on CBS and TNT, Florida's going to win. Florida's going to win. Tonight you got Todd Golden going against Kelvin Sampson. My money's on Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not betting against that team. Not the way they finish games. They beat a hell of a team. They beat a hell of a Duke team. Now this Duke team wasn't as easy to hate as old Duke teams for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. And I know Cooper Flagg, he was not 100%, guys. Remember, he hurt his ankle towards the end of the season. He's not playing at 100%. So I don't know. He's number 1 coming out. Or does he stay in one more season to try to win a championship?
Look, his ankle was fine. He played tremendous. He just didn't get it done down the stretch. He comes out. Like when you're number 1 player overall, you come out, you don't waste time with the NIL because the NIL in basketball is not what it is once you're in the NBA. It's very different than the women's game. So he's the number 1 player, but he leaves, man. That Houston team, I agree with you. It's going to be a great game. Florida, I think they have the player of the tournament if they win. And Walter Clayton Jr., like Jesus Christ. Like Cooper Flag was the best player in the tournament. Walter Clayton Smith is the best player in the tournament in terms of his performance through the rounds. Like every time they need a point, every time they need a basketball, every time they need a momentum shift, he's there. With Houston, people act like Houston just all of a sudden started this year.
Marcus Sasser, baby.
They act like Kelvin Sampson hadn't built this thing out. Let me take you through this. This season, 35-4.
Yep.
They lost once in the conference. Last year, 32-5. The year before that, 33-4, 32-6, 28-4.
Boy.
Like they are 163-26. Is what I heard.
Representing the Big 12, by the way.
Representing the Big 12 by way of the ACC. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see what tonight. I picked Houston. That defense is smothering, it's suffocating. It's very reminiscent of Nolan Richardson in 94 Feet of Hell. I'm excited. I'm going with Houston. What say you?
1.5 is the spread. Florida's favorite.
Yep.
I think you nailed it with the defense. And you got a guy in Walter Clayton Jr. that
He can play.
He can play and he can shoot from pretty much anywhere. But when you look at the type of perimeter defense that the Cougars bring to the floor, it reminds me of the reason why I think that the Pistons can beat the Knicks because of that perimeter defense. You know, going back to that Duke game, you can't call out Flag for what he did. 27, 7-4 with 3 blocks and 2 steals. Maybe even a bum ankle, but Adam Silver's already called him and said, Twin Towers 2.0, it's happening in San Antonio. There's one little short window, and it's because of a blood clot that he can be linked up with Wembanyama. Put your money on that. That's happening. As Bray said, when you're guaranteed the number 1 pick, you don't go back to school. That being said, this matchup between Florida and Houston is a team we're all knowing and comfortable with coming out as Florida, team that was beaten by my Spartans in 2000, Mike Miller and all that. But you look at this Houston team.
Teddy Dupay. Dirtiest dude ever.
Teddy Dupay. I forgot about that name. I buried that
That's a good
memory.
name.
That might be the most I ever cheered for like Michigan State because like when
Teddy
he
Dupay.
did the
How do
dirty
you like
move
that
on
team?
Mateen Cleave, I was like, oh, that's what.
And even Billy Donovan, you
Dupay.
couldn't like him either, man.
He just looked like a criminal.
Billy
It's
the
like,
Kid.
You are not Pat Riley, son. Sit down. But
He's going to Hall of Fame, by the way.
He deserves it.
I think Houston is one of those great stories. It's kind of like where Gonzaga was, where all of a sudden they had a couple of long runs as a 12 seed, and then 5-6 years later they're a perennial 4-5 seed or better, and now their program is officially on the map. Started kind of with the Adam Morrison days, and now this is a team and a program that top blue chip prospects consider, and that's what Houston has done over the last 5 years. And now getting to this stage, if they can finalize it and win, you're talking about Houston as one of the top 10 programs in the country. This is a team, a program that, come on, guys, growing up, nobody talked about them outside of Phi Slamma Jamma. And shout out Hakeem the Dream. I can't believe they didn't let you on the court last night.
that.
Absolutely ridiculous. Bewildered.
They can't hear.
Yeah, you're good.
Absolutely bewildered.
So absolutely.
What happened? I missed that.
So what happened was after they win, Hakeem Olajuwon was about to go on the floor to take a picture with Kelvin Sampson and the players, and some a-hole who just got a walkie-talkie and got a promotion as floor security told Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, who went to the Final Four as a Houston Cougar, who also played for the Houston Rockets,
Phi
for 2
Slamma
championships.
Jamma.
Right.
And they didn't let him on the court because some butthole who got a little bit of power. This happened to
And
me.
they were yelling at him too. People were saying,
they were
"Yo,
pissed.
that's a key."
Yes.
That's
Like,
crazy,
this,
man.
This happened to me in Ann Arbor when I was with Stick, and it rubbed me the wrong way. I was so pissed, like I didn't even go to the tunnel for a very long time. It was Michigan, Penn State. It was when Lloyd was getting the tunnel inducted, and I went, and I didn't have passes. I never used passes in Ann Arbor. Never have passes.
Why would you?
One guy stopped me at the gates And then another guy came over there and wouldn't let me in either because everybody was kind of. He was like, "You can't. I'm sorry, I know who you are, but you can't.
What?
I didn't want to force the issue because I'm not that guy. I said it is what it is. Walked off. Mike Phelps came up right behind me, and then Mike Phelps goes, and they let Mike Phelps in because he had to pass. Then I turned around and went back, and I was like, all right, now I gotta do something. So, but long story short, there always is that guy or that woman or whoever that has that badge, and they're like, no. To do it to Akeem Olajuwon, like,
why didn't you yell to Lloyd? Hey, Lloyd, he won't let me in.
Because it's not that big a deal. Man. You draw attention now. It's a thing. Now people record like it's.
Nothing like an hourly employee to completely disregard decades of earning something. I mean, I'll say, man, I've been throwing parties for over 20 years in this city, and I have earned my right to walk right into every club in this state. And when some dude who's out of his way, and even though the door person's like, we know him, he's a friend of the club, get in, but this guy's doing his job too much. Relax, Doug. Calm down, Doug.
Right.
Steve.
He should have did like Oak did back in the day and choking.
Hey, what? But that's why he can't go back to the Madison Square Garden. Which sucks though. Dolan has to fix that relationship with Charles Oakley because that's absolutely crazy.
You forgot the most important part about tonight, by the way. Which kind of
please, Pete, enlighten us.
What a way to go for win number 800 for Calvin Sampson tonight. He's
true.
at 799.
That's crazy. Going for 800 to win that. I'm telling you, Houston was the pick from jump. I appreciate that. Speaking of wins, speaking of accomplishments, Gino Auriemma and the UConn women win for the 12th time under his reign. He's 12-1 in national championships. By the way, the only losses were Paige Becker's. 3 years ago, who wins her first national championship. She would have been the only player to not win a national championship and be to the Final Four all 4 years. She went to Final Four all 4 years, 3-time All-American, tore ACL, second year in the tournament, have a career like that. She'll be the consensus #1 pick overall. Hell of a career by her. Hell of a job by Gino Auriemma. I didn't realize, Maz, it's been 9 years since they won one. You feel like they win every year.
Yeah, you do.
But insert South Carolina and Dawn Staley. Insert Stanford. Insert a couple. It's been 9 years since. Insert Baylor. It's been 9 years since they won.
Man, they beat the champs too, and they pummeled them.
Yeah,
they beat South Carolina. Dawn Staley was not happy.
She was crying.
No, she was not.
She was not happy. And Gino was waiting for her to come and shake hands and hug it out. And she waited a while before she got there. But he needs 2 more fingers for all those rings. He's one of the best coaches. I don't care if it's women's sports or not. He is one of the best coaches to ever coach a team.
Well, Tom Mazaway, it's very funny that you would say that because I prepared a little something. With 12 titles, Gino Auriemma is in rare air. Put that up for me there, Pete. Is Gino Auriemma the best coach in North American history? Here are some of the coaches. Bill Belichick, 8 championships, including
Phil
2
Jackson
with the New York Giants. But 6 if just the head coach. Phil Jackson, 11. John Wooden, 11. Red Auerbach, 11. Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, 5. Nick Saban, 7. And Gino Auriemma has the most up there. Now, with this list, is this a good list for the greatest American coaches? Who would you add? Who would you subtract?
How? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think you can take any of them away.
So just before the criteria for me, there's a lot of great coaches with 3, 4, and 3.
Yeah.
I looked at the 4s. I'm like 5.
Where's Dean Smith?
4 or 5. He's got like 3.
There's only one name missing.
Coaches.
So
it's Bear Bryant.
And that was okay.
Yeah, that
Bear
was
has
the one
6.
I was
Good
thinking.
call. Bear's at 6. So
Bear.
okay, Bear Bryant, correct. I didn't put Parcells, and I didn't put Chuck Noll on here.
Yeah, Chuck Noll, man.
Chuck Noll didn't win outside the 70s though, and that was the other thing. All these coaches transcend over decades.
No won 4.
Different in the same decade.
I'm not giving big love to Gino Auriemma because
I was waiting for it.
Well,
why not?
And not to take anything away from him, but in comparison to these other guys, these other guys had competition. Okay.
Well, in comparison,
NCAA women's basketball has been dominated by 2 or 3 teams
Tennessee
for as
and
long as
UConn.
I've been alive. Right? Tennessee and UConn, and then
USC,
and then a couple other filter in here and there. But when you're coming up as a little girl playing basketball, you're going to 2 teams. In basketball, in men's basketball, football, anything, There's so many teams that you could want to go to. I mean, I grew up wanting to play for the Hoosiers because Isaiah did. And then I wanted to be a Wolverine. And then I wanted to be a Spartan.
Yeah.
And there's so many different options for you. Women's basketball, you want to be
In that case, what about John Wooden? What
to
competition
me,
was he playing against?
I love John Wooden, and he really should be on that other tier. But I think that Red Auerbach is in a tier unto himself because outside of the last 2 championships, that man won another 5 coaching 1 row behind Casey Jones. And this guy was the architect of the greatest franchise in sports history, whether he was the actual head coach, whether it was Bill Russell as a player coach, or whether he was pulling the strings as GM. Auerbach, he embodies everything when it comes to dominance in one sport. Ariema, honestly, I was going to ask you guys, what's more annoying, the UConn NCAA team with Gino or the Duke Blue Devils with Mike Krzyzewski?
I've always not subscribed to people saying because you win and there's no competition that you don't deserve. Like, he built that over 40 years. 40 years he built that. UConn wasn't that when he was there.
No doubt.
Just like Duke wasn't there when Mike Krzyzewski built that.
No doubt about it.
Duke wasn't a blue blood, so he built this in stores. And they've had some times where they didn't win. I think his first championship came in, 90 or so? So I think what he's done is tremendous, and I think there has been some parity. You got to beat us. Now you got to beat us. So.
If you take American out of there, then Scotty Bowman goes to the top 3. Mm-hmm. He's won 9 Stanley Cups. And he won a couple with Pittsburgh. He won,
he should
of course,
be on there too.
He won 3 here with
North
the
American list.
It is North America, realistically.
Well, then Scotty Bowman is top 3.
There it is.
Top 3. Thanks to Rich Bowman for reminding me that Scotty, and I, of course, looked it up, 9 Stanley Cups. I mean, come on, man.
And what Bill Belichick has done in the modern NFL Super Bowl era, in a league that is not for long, teams go from nothing to something right back to nothing. The fact that man won 8 championships in the 21st century with a team that was a joke for the majority of the first half of my life, him and Wooden and Auerbach are on another level for me. I'd love to put Phil up there, but when you get Kobe, Shaq, and Jordan.
Okay, but you can say the same for everybody up here. Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. John Wooden had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton.
Okay.
Red Auerbach had Bill Russell, Casey Jones, Bob Cousy. Matter of fact, Red Auerbach was the only coach.
Did Phil Jackson draft Jordan? Did he draft Kobe?
He went
Bill
to a
Belichick
team that was there.
Built those teams.
But we're not talking.
That's just the difference in my opinion.
This doesn't say the greatest people that built organizations and franchises. It simply says coaches. Don't change the conversation.
Well, change it.
But to me, the coaches.
But to me, it says greatest coaches.
Sure, but the coaches don't just work for 60 minutes on the field. They go into the draft room. They handle free agency. They keep players happy. They jettison players that aren't happy. What Bill Belichick did in drafting and developing Tom Brady, in maintaining it for 2 decades, what Wooden did in putting constant player after player in and winning it over and over, and then Red Auerbach's pure dominance. Phil Jackson's a Zen master. I don't want to take anything away from him. But very much like Larry Brown, he was brought in after the team was structured.
Can I add an honorable mention?
He was brought in, but he was brought in and won chips. He figured it out and won championships.
Give me 2 tiers then. Separate these into a tier, a top tier that are like
I hear you too, Pete.
Yeah, I got you.
And then the next tier.
At what point do championship numbers matter?
Well, it always matters. That's why they're here. But to me, like, you look at Saban and what he did versus Gino, I think they're very, very
different.
Comparable.
I
think
comparable?
they're comparable, yeah, because the SEC, that's where all the premier players want to go, and for the longest time, that was the premier university. Now, Mike Krzyzewski, he's got some of the greatest competition for players.
So if
right
you have
within the
money,
state.
if you have money and a good name, it's easy to win. That's what you're telling me. So Nick Saban had money at Alabama.
I'm not saying it's
but it
easy
sounds like you're
to win.
discrediting. He won at LSU last time I checked.
You're right about that.
Hey, A-Diz, Pat Riley.
Ooh, yeah, you can't leave him off there.
Pat Riley. Larry Brown, another one.
Yeah, but Larry's only got, what, 2 or 1? I mean,
He's got 3.
Larry Brown's got 3 in the
Larry,
NBA.
I thought you said Larry Brown.
Because Riley's got, what, 4 with the Lake Show and then 2 with the Heat?
Riley goes on that list.
But by your merit, Riley didn't draft Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nor did he draft Magic Johnson.
No, he took that team over. From
by that conversation, what were you about to say?
Well, I got like one old school, man.
Go ahead,
there's it's just an old school name Because he's only the most winning manager of all time in Major League Baseball with 5 World Series, and that's Connie Mack. I know it's from the 1910, 1930s, but Connie Mack has 5 World Series championships. Jimmy Fox was one of the greatest sluggers of all time. Just throwing him up there. 5 World Championships and most wins ever.
Can I just say
Shout out to
Sparky
the
Anderson's
1910.
name? Can we just say Sparky Anderson's name?
Cincinnati Reds.
That's right.
There you go.
ALNNL.
You just like Sparky Anderson because he was nice to you at the beach.
No, he smacked me on the back of my neck because I said something funny.
Smacked you.
And I've never been so honored to be smacked by another man. Pause.
Probably still got the
I
red mark
stay away
back
from the
there.
comment, but it was interesting. I thought with him winning 12 championships, it would be fun to put up there.
No, that's awesome.
Great.
But
great
Bray, we
conversation,
definitely got to put Scotty on there. We definitely got to put Pat Riley on there.
And Bear Bryant.
And the Bear.
You know what?
Joe Paterno.
All right. You know what? I'm glad you said Joe
Penn
Potts.
State Shower Club.
Speaking of football, take us around the NFL because somebody who's I thought was going to Canada got a job as
Or
an
the
NFL
UFL.
quarterback. I did.
I thought he was going to be with the Panthers.
Michigan
Moves. Who's starting? Who's injured? What does it all add up to? It's time for Around the NFL on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
That Braylon's talking about so glowingly is Trey Lance. Trey Lance got himself $6.5 million almost to sign on with
That's a lot.
the Fighting Harbaughs of LA, the Chargers.
Fighting
He will back
Harbaughs.
up Justin Herbert, or at least try to get on the practice squad. $6.5 million, man.
This is what I like about this. So 6.5, probably because he hasn't made the team yet. That's really only like 1.5 and some incentives behind it. I like this for him. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I hope so. Gives him a chance to sit behind Justin Herbert, who's a really good quarterback in this league. Also, you know how Jim Harbaugh coaches. You know how his teams are, their structure, their support. I think that's what he needs. I feel like he was blowing like a tumbleweed just around everywhere. You got him there with Harbaugh. I think this could be good for him. Just get him grounded a little bit and figure some things out. So,
Hey.
yeah.
What else, man? I mean, that kid, the kid had the weight of the world on his shoulders when they moved up to get him.
It was idiotic what they did. Idiotic.
San Francisco lucked out that they drafted him one, but then drafted a guy named Brock Purdy at the end. So they got lucky. Without Brock Purdy, how bad off would the 49ers have been in that run?
You know the thing that sucks about this is when people don't talk about this side of it. Like Trey Lance he's a 20-year-old when he got drafted, 2021. He didn't tell them to move up. Man, he didn't come with the weight of the expectations for the franchise. When it doesn't work and you're that young and you hear all the people, especially nowadays with social media, he's a bust, he's this, he's not that, he's not worth this, he's a blah, blah, blah. You hear me say, oh, he should be in UFL. That way it's on your mental. If it doesn't work, it takes players like that a long time. I had a chance to meet Ryan Leaf and took him some time to be able to get back to the space.
Took him
now.
some jail time.
He went 100%. He did time at jail, not the big house, but you see where he's at now. You see how he has the podcast and he's speaking on quarterbacks
reborn.
in the game. 100%, but you see what he had to go through. So sometimes don't be so mean to people, you know.
You know what this reminds me a lot of? Malik Willis going to the Packers last year. And everybody thought it was no big deal. Malik Willis came in, I believe he was 2-0. He had a 124.8 rating, no interceptions. I love this for a Harbaugh move. This is a guy that is going to focus on the run. And if something happens to Herbert, you get a guy that can come in there and you just angle it more towards that running game. You don't have to put it in the air a bunch, just like you saw with Malik Willis, right next to Josh Jacobs. They've got a solid running game. I think that they're going to dip back into that in this draft. This is just a legendary running back draft. So I love it. I think it's a real cheap move to kind of, give yourself some insurance with a guy that might really fit well into a Harbaugh offensive line running system.
I got some Malik Willis stats for you. You ready?
Drop them.
He was 40 out of 54 last year, 74%,
right.
3 touchdowns, no picks.
That's right.
Just some random information that I possess.
You know that's my guy.
100%. Just a little bit, though. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. You get a chance, you get an opportunity. It's structured. Green Bay is a well-run organization. For whatever you want to say about Matt LaFleur, he's a good enough head coach. That's a great organization. It does things when you get around trust. I was in Cleveland. not the same as when I got to the Jets, and then not the same as when I got to Seattle. Structure looked a little different, had more fun, had more success.
And you got yourself a little Malik Willis card today, or was that a Jordan Love card that you brought in for me?
Oh, I'm selling the Jordan Love card, yeah. It's funny, though, because about a year ago, everybody was just giving away the nicest Malik Willis cards, which I got a bunch of randomly, and now he actually has some value. Packers, people love the Packers, but Malik Willis, man, if he can make it back, there's no reason Trey Lance can't.
Does anybody's name that is not a starting player in this NFL get mentioned more in this city? Because I've heard other people talk about Malik. Does any player that doesn't play get mentioned more than Malik Willis?
No, because they bust mine and Ryan's chops because we said that we wish the Lions would have taken Malik Willis. Trade up, get Malik Willis.
You weren't in
the top 10.
You weren't the only one. Doug said the same thing.
Hey, when they traded, that's right. When they traded up in that, remember when they got J-Mo?
Yeah.
Ryan and I were like jumping up and down like two schoolgirls saying, all right, we got our quarterback. And they took Jameson Williams. But, hey, we weren't the only ones that liked him. What suckered us was the Mike Tomlin rumors. Mike Tomlin supposedly just fell in love with this guy, blah, blah, blah. He didn't take him. He took Kenny Pickett, took the wrong guy. Maybe if he would have taken Malik Willis.
There were no right guys in that draft.
Probably not. Hey, let's keep it on the quarterbacks here. This is about a couple of days old. The Browns owners, those are what are they, the Haslams?
The Haslams.
The Haslams.
Jimmy Haslam.
They both took the blame, the husband and wife, for the Deshaun Watson trade. And they put it out there. Brave, you can read those things. They're going to pay for this for a long time.
Yeah, this comes from Mary Kay Cabot, who's a beat writer for
She covered you.
She did. We had her on the show, The Plain Dealer. Owner Jimmy Haslam says the team is still recovering from the big swing and a miss as Deshaun Watson and told me and D accountable. Watson and to hold me and D accountable. Owner D Haslam attributed to the swing and miss on Deshaun Watson to him getting hurt, suffering 3 significant injuries in the past 2 seasons. So what this tells me is that the wife she's just not going to accept blame for real. Like, it's basically just saying, like, oh, well, he got hurt, and that's not what it was. What happened was, after what happened in Houston, whatever it was, Deshaun Watson's mental was never the same. I don't care if he would have been healthy the last 3.5, 4 years, it wouldn't have mattered, because with all that swelling, you got to be a Kobe-like individual who was one of one, because there's no way you can deal with all those things and still be able to come out like that if you don't have that Kobe Mamba energy, and Deshaun Watson didn't have it.
Let me ask you guys,
opinion.
Will they ever get it right in Cleveland?
Do you want an apology for Monty from Holly Goris?
Right.
Right. Are you kidding me? First and foremost, we saw what happened in Carolina when the owner got in Frank Reich's way and said, let's take Bryce Young instead of C.J. Stroud.
Right.
Big mistake.
Frank wanted C.J.
And the fact is the owner hires these GMs to make these decisions. So why are you meddling? Why is your wife meddling?
Boy.
Why is your wife apologizing? Come on. Ridiculous. I don't want to hear from Holly Goris.
That's why they're the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, amen to that.
Just imagine this, though. Let's take a step back. Just imagine this from a fan perspective. You're a Cleveland Browns fan. You've been supporting this sorry-ass franchise forever. You've been supporting them forever. Yep. And at every turn, they make these dumb moves that leave you befuddled, bewildered. And then after the dumbest move in the history of dumbest moves, this is what they bring to the plain dealer. This is what you have to read either on your phone or in person, old school, with the flip. This is what you have to read. This is grounds for this is why I can't rock with this franchise. Yeah. This will be grounds for, you know what? I'm going to wear an X through my number this year until they figure it out. This is 2008 with the Detroit Lions. Not necessarily that bad, but the negligence into what you're looking to in the front office. This is why I talk about Cleveland like I do.
And rightfully so.
And this ain't even the same owner.
Do you want an apology 2+ years later?
Right, man. I don't know. But
and then to apologize from the sources the apologies came from, to me, it's even more embarrassing.
Well, it's not embarrassing. It's going to Mark White. Tell us about Mark White.
It isn't, man. They make your dreams come true. Dreaming of a new home? but feeling the financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 that you guys get to keep in your pocket. Call Mark White and his team today, 248-290-8242. Visit him online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight.
This ball is gone. Boys are back in town.
Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Man, make sure you get your merch now. Y'all know you're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch. It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, ultimate swag, man. Make sure you check out the latest gear at shop.woodwardsports.com. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Everyone's going to be wanting to know where you get these designs from. All our teams are doing good. Red Wings aside, they're doing all right. All our teams doing good. Support your teams now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get that merch that no one else has. Go get it now.
Yeah, shop that merch. A lot of that stuff is dope, and Woodward, we do a good job of pushing it to the edge of copywriting. So a lot of that stuff is real sweet. You see that Tigers right there? That sweater, that was all right. Sweatshirt was decent right there. Tom, you want to finish going around the NFL because there's some more interesting stories.
I do. Hey, Hard Knocks. We all enjoyed Hard Knocks over the year. Well, it looks like the NFL and HBO have gotten together and they've loosened the requirements now.
Deregulation.
They've loosened the requirements on Hard Knocks, so some teams don't have to be forced into getting involved in here. But here are some of the new rules there, Bray. If you could read some of those, or Anson, if you got some good eyes.
You guys need me to zoom in?
It's just a lot.
Here, I'll zoom in for you guys.
Isn't that good?
Hang on, sorry about that.
It's something to do with first-year head coaches. If you have a first-year head coach, you do not have to go.
Yeah, Hard Knocks training camp. This is for training camp. Does not have a first-year head coach. Is not a member of the division to be featured on Hard Knocks in season for such upcoming seasons, or a member of the division to be featured in the immediately subsequent season. The third one has not been featured in Hard Knocks training camp in the previous 8 seasons. Number 4 is not then exempt from selection based on such clubs' participation in Hard Knocks or the similar access show prior to 2024.
This would have excluded the Lions.
This would have.
Lions are off because
they wanted though.
But I mean, their first year, it was his first year,
right?
So we wouldn't have made it that year.
We wouldn't have.
Awesome Hard Knocks that was.
People wouldn't have fallen in love with us as much.
Big time.
Because they sure did.
Big time.
Fall in love with the Lions. That was the birth of the Lions.
I like and dislike that. I like
that was year 2 for the Lions, correct?
Was it?
That was year 1 for him.
Campbell?
That was year 1 for him.
I don't remember.
I was
Pretty
I
positive.
think-
Can we get a check on that? But for me, it makes a lot of sense because it is a distraction. And you got a guy coming in trying to, create his own landscape and culture there.
Right.
And so you've got a lot of distraction in that.
Jamal
but at
Williams.
the same point, like you guys mentioned, that first year, which is the first year that he's in as coach, it allowed the country to fall in love with this team. Of course, we didn't start the season off the way that we would have liked to, but it truly put our culture, the new culture that Dan and Brad had created, on the map. And again, that really contributed to this becoming America's new team. So I think that it does kind of maybe hurt a team that's, brings in somebody new that's desperate for some attention, desperate for some just notoriety and attention to the point where people will want to go and either watch those games or actually go to those games. So half and half for me.
Lions Hard Knock 2022. 2022.
So that's not his first year.
That was the second year.
Yeah, second year.
All right.
So after his first year.
Good enough, man. Hey, by the way, John Harbaugh, we always talk about him and the Ravens. Hey, John Harbaugh, one of these years, he's either got to put up or shut up, right? Even he won a Super Bowl against his brother.
13.
But a lot of people complain
11
that
years,
the Ravens
12.
haven't won with Lamar Jackson, blah, blah, blah. Well, he got himself a new deal. Another 3-year extension for John Harbaugh. And I do believe he is one of the better coaches in the NFL.
This is a smart move. Look, I know I cracked, they weren't necessarily jokes, but I know I poked the bear for the last couple seasons. His failures in the playoff had me concerned. But when you break it down, he's only the second head coach that the Baltimore Ravens have ever had. He's bought them a Super Bowl. He's in at least the playoffs every year, usually the second to third round of the playoffs, which is the conference championship. So this makes sense. He's the identity of that city. He has won at the highest level in that city. You think of Ray Lewis, you think of Ed Reed, you think of John Harbaugh before you think of Brian Billick. So Lamar's his quarterback. So I think he's earned the extension by that right. So I don't have a problem with it. It makes sense for a franchise standpoint.
Hey, this is a – go ahead, Anson.
I was just kind of looking here, and it's like, how many times have they missed the playoffs? 2021, and then not since 2017. The guy gets it done. Even if they don't win a bunch of championships, going right back to the beginning of the show when we were asking, would you rather have a team that wins one and then fades to obscurity, or do you want to have a chance year in and year out? And, hey, I mean, ask the Steelers. The Steelers fans, they love being there every year. I know they're calling for their coach's head, but I want 10 wins. I want to be in the conversation, and the Ravens are every year.
Speaking of the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, this is about a week old, but I couldn't let it pass because, Bray, you laughed at it last week. And you're like, Mike Tomlin could really sweat.
Man.
So he had this conversation with Aaron Rodgers last week, and I guess it was a good conversation. Let's watch, and then we'll talk about Mike Tomlin.
He's a free agent. As you guys know, he came to visit last Friday. We had a really productive day. He's been in this thing a long time. I've been in this thing a long time. But it's no substitute for, intimacy and spending time together and getting to know one another in a non-competitive environment. And so that was really good. But I don't have any new updates in terms of where the process is. We'll see where it leads us.
How unsettling is it, or is it, to not have this situation?
I'm really comfortable with being unsettled this time of year, to be quite honest with you. It's about talent acquisition. We got two main means of acquiring talent: free agency and the draft. We multitask. We do both. Those needs that we fulfill in free agency, we do so there, and when we don't, we fulfill it in the draft. And so I just learned over the years that this time of year, although day to day can be somewhat uncomfortable, it is a process.
Boy, it was cooking out there. Yeah. It was hot, and it smelled like it sounded like somebody. Well, excuse me. It looked like someone was cooking onions because those sweat got all the way down, iron all the way down. Yeah. But it's a sweaty conversation for him. Apparently, the whole intro to that was wild. But it's an interesting conversation for him. He's put himself in a position to be one of the best coaches in the last 20 years in terms of his record. It's impeccable, but it's failing. The last 4 years, it has not looked the same. They've made the playoffs, but it has been ugly. It has been ugly, or they haven't made the playoffs and went 8-8. So for him, he doesn't want to hang all his hopes in a guy that is Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen how he's operated the last 4 or 5 years. But it's going to be interesting because we know that he's going to be a Steeler. It's just a matter of when, in my opinion.
You think?
I think so. I think it just the marriage is there. Like, he's Aaron, but he's not gonna work out with DK Metcalf and take all these extra meetings. I know it's Aaron, and I know I give you pushback, but in this regard, I can't see him doing those things. I think a conversation was had like, look, I'm gonna join you guys, but I'm gonna do it on my own time. I don't know how to describe it, but I guarantee he's had a conversation with them. I will join. Just give me a second.
So I have become much to
He wants you to keep talking about him. His name is still in the press. If he would have signed the deal, Maz, like this is how Aaron thinks. If the deal was signed 2 weeks ago, a week ago, they're not talking about Aaron right now.
Yeah.
Like the conversation is done. There's no bewilderment. It's how was he going to do? But there's no, where's Aaron going? He gets off on that. That's a thrill for him.
He does. And much to Stick's chagrin, I have become an Aaron Rodgers fan. The plant-based therapy, the dark sessions, all of the things that he's doing to improve himself as a human being, I'm all on board with that. But this tattoo right here means being better every day, trying to not feel that you're complete, never letting your guard down, not giving into complacency.
I was wondering what that tattoo meant.
This means
this is
a balance of yin and yang. This is from the I Ching. It's like a 2,000-year-old language, but it means just that, never being complacent, fighting to be better every day. This guy is a Hall of Famer. We know that. This guy has also written the script on how to not be successful as a QB for the last 2 seasons, trying to be a New York Jet. And the prescription for failure for him has been a blown off season. All right. So now you have this opportunity for maybe your last year to play for one of the most storied franchises in the NFL, and you're going to do the same thing. I think if there's ever a time, it's your last year. Now do things the right way. Tell us where you're going right now. Show us it yourself at OTAs. Let us hear stories and see videos of you working with George Pickens and DK Metcalf and anybody else that's there. And let's see you establish your culture with the team all summer instead of coming in and impressing your culture on an already established culture come August, September. So I would love to see Rodgers do something that we don't expect, and that's the right thing.
Retire?
No, well, not the retire. We know that's not going to happen.
Just show up.
Do something. Be the leader of that team, because that's the only reason why Tomlin is kind of hemming and hawing at all. He'd love to have you in town, but he wants you to be the quarterback of that team, not just Aaron Rodgers of that team.
Like nobody, at the same, in my opinion, I think the Steelers are the only team that pretty much want him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the only ones that want him.
Or can handle him.
But here's the thing. This is why he should have signed. This is why I don't understand what he's doing, and he's done it before. You got to get with the team to what you're saying. You think just because, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know Mike Tomlin, I know a couple players over there. I ran routes with DK Metcalf. Yeah, Cameron Hayward's a great player. They got TJ Watt. You think you know what a team is. You think you know what it's like in Pittsburgh. You think you know what the day-to-day is. You think you know what the depth chart is. You think you know what the staff is like. Like, until you go to a place, you don't know what the place is like. So I don't understand what the wait is, because the longer you wait, the longer it takes. And when you get somewhere and you like, oops, I shouldn't have been here. I shouldn't have made the move to Porter. It's too late. You signed the deal.
We shouldn't have brought him here.
That part. So that's the waiting game is, I think you wait too long, you miss out on that opportunity to build a little bit and to get the respect early. Like, he's going to be trying to get the respect from his team in November.
Yep.
Like, as opposed to, he could have got it now.
You want to play one more year, or you want to win a championship?
You heard Cameron Hayward, what he said. He said, look, I'm not doing all that. And he came back off the statements. But the first thing he said is what he said. He said, I'm not doing all that. He want to play here. He want to play here. And that's already the attitude in Pittsburgh from the players.
And that's not a great attitude in April.
What?
He's going to wait to the draft. Once the draft's over, he'll sign.
I agree.
Make sure they don't draft a first-round quarterback.
Well, no, they need
behind him.
They still need to draft a quarterback.
They do,
but they have Mason Rudolph there as their guy.
What's the last day of the draft? Is Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
He'll sign Sunday or Monday morning. Monday morning.
Right.
Monday morning he'll sign.
What if they draft Jackson Dart in the first round?
Jackson Dart ain't gonna.
He's going to be gone by the time they get.
Don't
I
make
think so
me
too.
choke.
I don't think he goes past number 9.
You all right over there?
No, he made me choke, man. I mean, you're out of your mind?
Jackson Dart?
No, hell no, dude. Don't do that to the Steelers. Don't do that to Tomlin.
You don't like Jackson Dart?
No, I do not.
Okay. we
No,
shall
no,
see
no.
about that
I do
one, my
not.
friend.
Not for Pickens and not
we
for
shall
DK
see
Metcalf.
that one.
Yeah. That Jackson Dart is a product of the last couple of years. You're just grasping at straws. Because the third quarterback in these drafts now is like, who are we going to pick? Oh, we got to pick this way. It just feels like a desperation pick. So
He's moving up the charts like Anthony Richardson did. So he's that type of guy. I mean, there's a lot of teams that like him. A lot of teams, but it's a quarterback, right? If you could throw the ball, you're going to get drafted.
Isn't that crazy?
That's just the way it is. It's the way
Has it
is.
always been that way? Like, I feel like a lot of times we don't look back. We just see things and what it is now. We're like, man, like now has it always been a crapshoot? First round for quarterbacks?
Probably.
Chuck
More
Long,
likely.
baby.
Who was in my draft? I had Jay. Okay, here we go.
You had a hell of a draft.
Did we? First
You
quarterback.
had Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. And Alex Smith was one.
Yeah.
Alex Smith.
Jason Campbell from Auburn went
Well,
to.
he's a bust.
And then Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think that was we only had 1, 2, 3. Year before that was the Eli draft. Year before that was the Eli.
Hey,
draft.
Puka Nacua is 23 years old, guys.
Who wants to hang him up?
He's already said, I'm hanging him up by the time I'm 30 years old.
Smart.
Do you believe him, and why would he come out and say something like that now?
Because it's the truth. His example is Aaron Donald, who was on the team with him, who was his OG.
Is his example Aaron Donald, or was it Cooper Kupp, who, as you could see, is now, got a new team? In other words, he saw Cooper Kupp get issued right out of there.
I think
after being an all-pro.
Right. I think it's Aaron Donald. It's because Aaron Donald retired after 10 seasons, hung him up, let it go. He made all the money. Nowadays, you're making so much money. Like his contract, receivers are signing $34 million deals right now. And you're talking about he still has another 2 years before he's up. You'll make that money in an 8-year span, not to mention the deals that he's going to make off the field out there in L.A. Most notably, probably one with SoFi, which is, this naming right at the stadium. So you can make a bunch of money, and then also there's so much more to do in today's world versus back in the day. Like back in the day, you play football. That was a profession. I want to play 15, 16 years. I'm going to retire, maybe open up a car dealership, raise my family, ride off into the sunset. Like now, I want to get into tech. I want to get into producing, podcasting. I want to get into ownership. There's so much for you to do in this day and age. I would only give 8 years of my life to football in this way, 8 to 9 years, and then do something else. Also, I don't want to be hurt.
Right.
Like 8 years, I can get in, I can get out, I can have my health. Like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald played the most aggressive position in football, the line, right? Aaron Donald looks good to me. He looks in shape to me. He looks like he's okay to walk to me. I think it's a mixture of the two.
Get your money, win a championship if you can.
Oh, he missed the championship.
And also be able to get out of bed in under 30 seconds for the rest of your life. That's what it comes down to.
That's a good goal.
Puka's got a great head on his shoulder. He's a heart-filled man that comes from a culture that understands the importance of life and living it. And it's not just, banging your head against, other helmets for 15 years to the point where you grasp every dollar that you can and then you're hurting for the rest of your life. I'm a huge, huge fan of Puka, and I hope that he has a Hall of Fame decade in the NFL.
Let's also not forget, Tom, he watched DeMar Hamlin, much like a lot of us did too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as he was already on the path to get to the NFL, so there was no going back. I'm sure that had something to do with it too. Like,
it might.
That scared the hell out of all of us, including players.
I know we got one more break to get in. Then I got a question for you about what was one of the most extravagant gifts you bought yourself as an NFL player.
Pete, tell me about Caesars, and I'll get back to that.
You got it, my friends. Well, I tell you what, guys, tonight is national championship in college basketball. You all know that baseball is underway right now with the Tigers playing so well. You got your NHL and NBA playoffs coming up, so scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Make your first deposit, make a first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, it won't, but if it does lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head and use that code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Fun show, as you always say, man. It feels like time flies when we're doing this racket together. But before we get out of here, Pistons do play tonight. We talked about, okay, man, I see you rocking the guitar.
Just want to thank Phil again in the chat for this awesome homemade,
very cool,
redone, gorgeous guitar. It's going to stay right here in the Woodward Sports studios. Thanks, Phil.
Anson,
appreciate you.
What do you want to see from the Pistons against the Kings tonight? Because as you said, the Kings are playing. I love that. Kings are playing some really good basketball as of late. The Pistons, they're still fighting, trying to get as many wins as they can. What do you want to see from the Pistons tonight?
Honestly, I'd like to see Cade with no rust. Okay. He looked like he had been on the shelf for a little bit. That game against Memphis certainly could have been won. And I think what it came down to was, with 8 minutes left, they take him off the court because he's on a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
But even when he came back in, the team's looking to him to make shots and take shots because he's the guy. But he just wasn't on. I want to see him play well. If we're going to meet up with the Knicks, we've got Jalen Brunson and Cade that have both come off of the shelf just recently. Bronny just played his first game back. Same thing with Cade. Those two guys, they're going to decide that series. So for me, I need to see a healthy Cade tonight.
You know what I hate about these other networks, Tom? Alexander Ovechkin broke the record. He broke Wayne Gretzky's record. And the second you turn it on today to kind of, see what the conversation was, see, what they talked about, see if the game was kudos, see the in-between, Gretzky and him, all they did was compare it to LeBron James. They found a way to turn Alexander Ovechkin and Wayne Gretzky, Alexander Ovechkin's moment, 100%.
Yeah.
They turned, which record is more impressive? LeBron's points or Alexander Ovechkin's and his goals? And then it's LeBron. I'm like, this ain't about LeBron.
Ovechkin did it with one
Alexander
team.
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin did it with one team.
And one number.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
The grade 8.
Okay, here's a question for you. And this is just hockey and Alexander
One
Ovechkin.
number.
He's got the goal record. Where do you place him in the pantheon of players?
That's too hard for me.
It doesn't have to be specific. Is he top 20?
Yes.
Is he top 15?
Top 20.
Okay.
Probably top 15.
Okay.
Not top 10.
There's too many.
It's a lot of,
There's too many greats. And, it would take me a long time to go through them all, but there's no way he's cracking the top 10.
I mean, the first 10 years of his life, people were talking about him being a top 10 guy. He's done nothing but stay consistent for the second decade of his career.
You know what? We can do this at the end of our show.
Yeah.
Andy Ibanez just hit a 3-run homer.
I was just about to say that.
Bottom of the third.
Yep.
Off of Carlos Rodon. It's 3-0 Tigers.
Right.
Jake Rogers threw out Ben Rice at third base. He picked him off at third base the inning before to save a run. Casey Mize looks real good. They got one hit off of him. But Tigers up 3-0 in snowy Comerica in front of about 800 people down at Comerica Park right now.
All right, look, we'll end the show. We'll let you get to the Tigers because, look, up 3-0, the Yankees. I want to see it my damn self, so I want you to see it as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Top 8 offense right now.
Happy belated birthday again to the main man, Anson Wells. Shout out to Ricky, Pete, Maz, everybody. Love everybody.
Thanks for my presents, guys.
100%.
Braylon, thanks for my G.
Thank you, my friend.
Guys.
Appreciate you.
Look at my Jeter.
Jeets.
See ya.
Jeets.